Today I'm going to be showing you how to build the core for your next base. With an incredibly small footprint and a low starting cost, this design will get you out of farming for upkeep. Not only can this core be quickly built on wipe day, it will also give you a variety of build and expansion options. This helps you both customize the base and confuse any would-be raiders. If you're looking to advance your building or you just want to catch some of my other Rust videos, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Quick shout out to Jack, who recently joined the ranks as a Chad, who is helping to support the channel. More on that at the end of the video. Before getting into the build, first we're going to need to get a TC down. To do that, we're going to place 3 triangles and a wall, upgrade this foundation, place your TC here against the wall, go ahead and slap whatever kind of lock you have available on it, and at least now you're protected with your resources mostly stored in here in case you die. This is very useful to do on high pop servers, and it's something you're not going to want to forget. Next, I'm going to go ahead and place 2 walls here, a triangle frame, upgrade that, and I'm just going to go ahead and wall that for now. Now, it does seem kind of pointless because it's open on the top, but it's going to deter a lot of people from trying to mess with it. Next, I'm going to place a square foundation here and build 15 triangles in this direction. At the 15th triangle, you're going to go ahead and place a square foundation, and then because we've placed TC, using your hammer, you can come back and destroy all of these pieces. Next, you're going to finally destroy these ones as well, leaving just these 2 triangles as the base. Coming back over here, we're going to build all the way back to the TC. Once you get to the TC, you'll notice you can no longer place this triangle foundation. That is intentional and part of the build. It's at this point you're going to want to go ahead and upgrade these 2 pieces and destroy all of the foundations leading up to it. Next, you'll notice that you kind of have this, but that's really not much of a base and your TC is still very exposed. So we're going to go ahead and place our foundations here. You do have a few options. You could make something like this and freestyle it, or you could do as I'm doing here and just do 2 squares. I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 squares, and I'm going to go ahead and right away lock this in. Coming to here, we're going to place another wall, and just like over here, we're going to now place this frame. It's important you place this frame in this order and that you don't try to do it later because you might accidentally clip to the wrong piece, but I will cover that in a second. Now, we do have this issue of being open here, so instead of a regular wall, we're going to use 2 half walls. Once you have those placed, go ahead and upgrade them right away, but this part you do have to be careful and pay attention. You'll notice that when you go to try to place this, it kind of moves around a bit. What's important with placing this is you want to make sure it connects only to this half wall and not to anything else. To ensure that happens, we're going to make sure that we just place it just as we go slowly up the wall. And that's going to make sure it connects to this wall and nothing else. And to verify that we've done it correctly, you'll see that this is now highlighting blue, which it really should not do. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that. And if you have a furnace, that is an ideal jump up. And if you have one, I would go ahead and just seal this in and place your furnace using it as your jump up. If you don't have a furnace, for now, simply just build yourself a little shelf. And you can also place a double door here, which you will have to pick up as you upgrade to come in. With a furnace, you can jump up here, place this. And before upgrading it, we're just going to make sure that this happens. Fantastic. So it's at this point we can go ahead and seal our TC and no one will access it anymore. Coming down here, we can go ahead and build some shelving at the back. Slap a bag down here, workbench, any extra boxes that we need. I'll cover how to place boxes in here for maximum storage in a minute. And of course, if you want, you could always build a second floor very quickly. To do that, something like this is more than acceptable. Just boxing everything here. And it's here you would kind of decide if you want to jump up or if you're going to kind of seal it here. I like to do a jump up here, but even just upgrading to wood so that you can destroy it later is a very good and solid option. Now, in order to make sure you don't fall down here when you don't want to, either sprint very quickly, making sure to hug the corner, or do a little jump as you go through. I honestly just sprint and move my mouse to the left as I go through, and I never fall. If you want to go down, you have quick access, and if you need to go out and seal for any reason, simply place a square, or a triangle, sorry, upgrade it, and you're good to go. Anytime you need to open it up, simply come and place the roof piece, destroy that, and it's open. I'll then usually replace this with stairs to give me a quick way up, and worst case scenario, I gotta go hit a tree just to get back up. This works as a great core and can be expanded to a lot of options with a lot of storage options and a great deal of security. With a weird path to TC, most raiders wouldn't get there in one go. However, one vulnerability of this base is it does have a fairly flat backside. This means a lot of raiders are going to try to splash and get both the top two and the bottom two areas. This obviously would not be ideal, as it would basically expose your base. To counter this, you're going to want to make sure you get your honeycomb placed as soon as possible. Once this is placed and upgraded, it will at least separate the ability to just splash into both, and at least covering the bottom floor with honeycomb is going to save you a lot of hassle. When you're done, it should look something like this. Now, you'll notice I didn't fill in this part of honeycomb. That's because doing so will actually mess up your build. It will mean that this no longer works, and well, you know what? I ate my words. It'll mean that sometimes it won't work, and doing so is very risky. I highly advise instead you simply double honeycomb and leave this bottom piece open, just because in a lot of my testing it ends up clipping and it doesn't let that break anymore, and that's not worth losing your bunker. However, apparently this time when I go to test it for the video, it's gonna work fine. But again, I have had a lot of issues with this triangle in particular granting bonus stability, because this is how it is working. This has a 10 stability, which if it grants extra stability to here, it will not work. Before we cover how to secure the front of the base, I'm going to quickly go over box placement for your loot room. A lot of people don't realize you can actually fit a lot more in these little box areas than is intended. Starting off by placing that box flush against the wall, you're then going to take your barbecue, flip it around, and if it doesn't work here, you're going to come over here, and with it pointing this way, place it as close to the box as possible. Then you're going to come in here, and you're going to place a small box under that, also as close to the box as possible. You're going to want to fiddle with it a little bit until you get something like that. Then you're going to come in with another large box, and bam, you've already given yourself an extra 10, 12 slots of storage. I can't count. And then you can also pair that up with a second barbecue. I usually do it like this, and then you can place this one here like that. This gives you access to all the back boxes, as well as extra storage in the same space. You can also go a little step further and add an extra box in each one, although that does mean that you're gonna have to go and get a little finicky to get to those back boxes. But you can still get them, and you're gonna get even more storage in that same space. Obviously, repeat that step for any shelf. The biggest issue that you're going to have with regards to honeycombing this base is going to be the front here. This foundation piece, you really only have a few limited options. You can't place a wall like this because you will no longer be able to place the roof piece, as it will actually occupy the socket and won't allow you to place. So instead what we need is either a raised triangle or a raised square foundation. Alternatively, we would need to leave this space blank and expand outwards. What I'm going to use is a raised square foundation, and here's the only other issue. You're going to notice that because we've occupied this socket right here, we cannot occupy this socket here. You cannot occupy both this socket and this socket in any regard, Even if you place here first, it just won't work. Doesn't matter which combination you use. So what you're going to have to do instead is create a gap. There are a few ways to do so, and they're going to have different costs and different benefits. For this, honestly, I just like to use a square gap. So I'm just going to literally come around like this. I'm going to add this piece here, and I'm going to create something like that. Now, I can do it low like this as well, and that's not going to matter. The only one that has to be high is this one here. And what this actually does for me is, while it's going to act as the honeycomb as well, it's going to give me a area to keep an oil refinery on both sides, as long as I leave something open to get to it. In this case, I'll probably just leave myself a door here, have this be my entranceway, have a way up to here, because you do want to block this off. So at this point, I am going to go ahead and place these, and without locking myself in. And I'm just going to repeat the process on this side. So we're going to do a low foundation. We're going to come over with the triangles. I'm going to destroy these two triangles and upgrade these. Ultimately, you'll have a lot of different options, and you'll be able to make a lot of things happen depending on what you're going for. If you want to add some farming area on the sides just to be able to get some actual sunlight, or if you just need more storage boxes. At the end of the day, you do just have to work around a couple issues, but once you get past that, you get open to so much more. Now, the last thing I'll leave you on is you should make sure to upgrade this foundation and these walls, as well as this floor piece here, to your highest grade available as soon as possible. These are key vulnerabilities to the base, and fixing that up is going to save you a headache later on. I also recommend going a step further and adding a ramp here. You're going to want to make it facing this way and upgrade it not beyond stone, but to stone. And that's going to help prevent somebody from eco-rating that foundation piece there. I would, however, wait until you have high qual metal to upgrade this to, so you're not having to come through it and fight with it later. Other than that, it's just about making sure that this piece here, and of course these floor pieces here, get upgraded to your highest grade in order to protect your base. If you've enjoyed the video or learned anything, be sure to smash that like button. If you have any ideas or improvements for the base, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And most of all, don't forget to subscribe for more content. Are you looking for more ways to help support the channel? Check out patreon.com/Rexmore, where you can become a Chad or even join the Pumpkin Heads and help me to keep my TC stacked so I don't have to sleep on the beach.